So here we're going to graph a line in general form, and we are given this equation in general form, x plus 3y plus 9 equals 0, and we're going to be doing two steps in order to graph this line. The first is going to be to determine the x and y intercept, and then finally the second step we're going to determine the slope. So to determine the x-intercept, what we're going to do is we're going to take our equation that's written in general form, and we're going to substitute the y for 0. So we're going to end up with x plus 3 times 0 plus 9 equals 0, and that in turn leads to x plus 9 equals 0, because 3 times 0 is nothing. We want to isolate the x, solve for x, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our positive 9, we're going to move it to the right hand side of the equal sign, and that is going to change its value from a positive to a negative, which leaves us with x equals negative 9. So we've just determined that our x-intercept is going to be negative 9. And basically what that means is the line on the graph will pass through the x-axis at negative 9. So same thing we're going to do when we're determining the y-intercept is we're going to substitute the x for 0. So here we're going to have 0 plus 3y plus 9 equals 0, which leads us to 3y plus 9 equals 0. And once again, we're going to take our positive 9 and we're going to move it to the other side of the equal sign, which will turn it from a positive 9 to a negative 9. And that leaves us with 3y equals negative 9. And we want to isolate the y. And so we'll divide by 3, its coefficient, and we'll also divide the other side by 3 as well. The 3's cancel each other out, leaving us with y equals negative 9 over 3 is the same thing as negative 3. So we've just determined now our y-intercept. And once again, on the graph that we're going to draw, the line will cut through the y-axis at negative 3. Now, to determine the slope of this general form equation, what we want to do is we want to take this general form equation and rewrite it into slope-intercept form. And once again, quick review of slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. So that's what we want to turn this equation into slope-intercept form. So first things first, we want to leave the y on the left-hand side of the equation. So that means we're going to be moving the x and the positive 9 to the other side of the equation, which will make them negative from their current positive. So what that will read is 3y will equal negative x minus 9. And continuing to solve for y, divide by its coefficient of 3, and whatever we do to one side we have to do to the other as well. So the 3's will cancel each other out, leaving us with y equals, now we have negative x here. We have to remember that this actually is negative 1x. Negative x and negative 1x actually mean the same thing, but it will now be negative 1/3 x minus 9 over 3, or 9 divided by 3 is 3. So we've just determined that the slope of this graph is negative 1/3. So what that means is we're going to have a rise of negative 1 and a run of positive 3. So we're going to go ahead and quickly graph this using our newly found information. So first off, I have to apologize for my graph. It is not the prettiest, but it's just a quick representation to show you how to graph this. So we previously determined that our x and y intercepts were negative 9 and negative 3 respectively. So our x-intercept was negative 9. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right here in our y-intercept, which we also see up there is a negative 3, 1, 2, 3. And we simply draw a line through those points. And once again, I don't have a ruler, so my line is kind of crooked. We will now check the slope to verify that our line is correct. So we have a rise of -1. We go down 1, and we have a run of +3. So we move over 3. 1, 2, 3. And our line runs through that point, so we know that our intercepts are correct and our slope is correct.